My name's Tony Connor, and I'm a Professor Emeritus at Wesleyan University in Connecticut. Although it's somewhat amazing that I ever became a professor at all, because I was thrown out of school at the age of 14 as being one of those people not worth educating. And at that point, I went into full-time employment, but a very interesting form of employment. I became apprenticed in a textile design studio in Manchester, England, which was in those days the centre of the world's cotton trade. And I did that for 16 years, with the exception of 2 years when I was conscripted into the British Army. And at the end of that time, I'd had enough of it, and I got out and initially went teaching textile design in a local art school. And at the same time, I was working for television in the locality. They had a very famous independent television channel in Manchester called Granada, and I did a great deal of part-time work for them and became very famous, in fact, in that part of England. I remember somebody coming up to me in the street and shaking my hand and saying, "You are the spirit of the North." But I wasn't really interested in doing television work because it came too easily to me. I could charm my way through it. The nearer the camera came to my face, the more eloquent I became, although I didn't listen to what I said particularly. And then I moved into education, working in a technical college, teaching young apprentices of 15 and 16 years old. And I did that for a few years. And then by that time, I'd begun to write, and I'd published a book of poems. Then I decided I'd go to the university at the age of 34. And I was only willing to go to the local university, which was a short walk away, because by that time I was married with 2 children and another one on the way. And while I was still doing that work at the university, which was a non-graduate MA, a rather unusual thing to do, I received a letter one day from a school in America that I'd never heard of called Amherst College, asking me whether I would come over here as writer in residence for a year. So to cut a long story short, I did do that, and then later on was asked to come to Wesleyan University, and eventually that led to this full-time job as a professor at Wesleyan University. But as I say, before that, I had had a great deal of very varied experience, which, if anything, contributed to my talents as a teacher, whatever they may be. It was these varied experiences outside university that did it.
Do you want to add anything?
No, in fact, I think that that the life of university is vitiated by the fact that nearly all of the academics are overgrown students. Most of them have never worked outside universities, and this is a sad thing. As I say, I have done a great deal of work outside university, and that has contributed, I think, to what I'm able to offer inside the university.